Yeah, so welcome to our next webinar session with the big title, Must Change Change. So it is a webinar series where we ask and question what we need to do to have a bigger impact on underserved communities. And today I'm very happy to welcome Chrisantus Ongulo from Kenya, the leader of GAASSPP. And he will share with you much more what GAASSPP, this NGO, is doing. They are located in Webuye, Western Kenya. And the topic mainly Chrisantus is focusing on, but he does a lot of activities to really make holistic change happen. But he works with people with albinism. And yesterday we had the International Albinism Awareness Day, and that's why we have chosen exactly your NGO, Chrisantus, to share a bit. Yeah, before now I come to you, let me also give you a short summary of what we as Making More Health do in Kenya with the communities, with underserved communities. We have set up 8 different centers and work with 9 core NGO partners in these centers. The centers you have to imagine really as tangible centers, so with infrastructures, with training rooms, production rooms, pilot farming, and a lot of other things that are happening in the centers. So our communities come together there. And in addition, besides the trainings, and for example, also an acrobat and a supermarket where the products we are producing with the communities or the communities are producing are sold. But what maybe is also very unique, we have also connected the different centers in a kind of framework. We call it System Changer Network, where these centers definitely work together, exchange skills, do exchange visits, so that the number of activities is really high and we can tackle basic needs in a very holistic way. So it's not just health or hygiene trainings or farming or production or income generation, it is many things together. But with this here, I stop. And Chrisantus, I hand over to you. We look definitely also for people, for sponsors, investors, partners, other businesses, other NGOs who might be interested to work with us. In that case, after this webinar, feel free to connect. Chrisantus, tell us a bit more about your work and about GAASSPP. What is it? And
Thank you.
I will share also some slides you have sent. So let me do this. I think here we are, and now let's have a look.
Yeah, thank you, Manuela, for this golden opportunity. I say so, and I'm happy to present what actually GAASSPP does. As you said, of course, change must change. Yes, my name, of course, is Chrisantus Ongulo, working for GAASSPP. This is an NGO that actually focuses on people living with albinism, the aged who are 90 years and above, and we've now blended it with the teen mothers, the 10, 11, 12, 13 young children who actually also have babies. However, the core function of GAASSPP, of course, is to generate heroes from victims. But how do we do it? It actually comes from the passion that actually I have for humanity. So our model is basically focused on the passion for humanity. We do this in a very holistic manner, but we are pegged on several values. And these are the guiding values that have actually enabled us to move from one step to another. We actually just started in 2019, and in 2019, totally on a rental house, the one you can see. And then from there, with support of MMH, Manuela, and then we got some space, which was fairly empty. Then, and of course, by now, you can see on the other side, a few pictures there that you can see on the top right. That is the whole center now constructed. But of course, yeah, we also have a guest house blended. We have other centers generated, 4 more centers, of course, generated. But this is now the main center where more than 250 people are flocking in, seeking for services. And out of this, we actually say we've won the trust of the community. Because the first thing you have to do for you actually to move a step is to win the community trust. And we actually have values that we can trust and we work upon it. One is trust, accountability, transparency, resilience, and honesty are our driving values to the growth of the center and the entire community. We've seen it move from one phase to another. But of course, as you can see, the transition that we've actually done, we've actually leveraged on the power that we have, actually generating hope, giving our people hope, giving them self-esteem, raising their self-esteem so that at least they can have their own dignity. We do that by doing some shelter support to them, because as much as you train people, life is at home. You could do several trainings, but life at home is very important. So we ensure at least the life in the homes is completely comfortable. Then, of course, by trainings, and then after that, giving them some skill, and through those skills and the trainings that we actually have incorporated, making it a holistic, through the partnership, through the innovations that we get jointly from other partners, from other social entrepreneurs, from the government, to enrich our people. And with that, we build the dignity within our people. Yes. So maybe you can move to the next slide.
Yes. Oh, let me see.
Good. But of course, how do we do that? We do that through a co-creation model. A co-creation in a manner that, of course, we collaborate and network, creating a holistic ecosystem of change. Because when you do things individually, you can't actually gain more. You can't go far. But when you join with other people, of course, you make a greater step. And of course, we join up with other people through a co-creation. Out of course, the GAASSPP Center being the hub, of course, linking with several other people, the national people, the community, the county government, the ministries, the local government, the partners, the media, we bring them jointly together to ensure at least we propel our mission, or to ensure our people actually move to another level. But of course, we are pegged on several pillars, and the pillars, of course, health, hygiene, sanitation, the skill development, basic support, advocacy, young mothers, environment for climate change. We have the parent clubs, and then cultural, mental health, and drug and substance abuse. Those are key pillars that we actually focus on, but through a co-creation model to ensure at least for skill innovation, and then creating a win-win-win situation from both ends. Partner gains, the community gains, and then GAASSPP also gains. Yes. Next slide, Manuela.
Yes.
Yes, that one is just showing the activities in summary that we do. Of course, on the top right, you will see this element about the health, hygiene, of course, to our people and sanitation, both on the animal health and then the human health. So we deal holistically with that, but on the myths, looking at the myths and misconceptions that surround our people, so that we can give them an upper hand. Of course, we generate, we generate heroes from such point of, yes, because through the trainings, we give them an avenue to excel and participate to the community. We also have the skill development, which is actually crucial at the center. Yes, much of it, and that is now our backing point. That is the potting point, because all these people, as much as we get them from the community, we get them to the center, and then from the center, we do trainings, capacity them, they give them skill, and using those skills, they now move to the community. But of course, with that, as much as we do it at the center, but as I said earlier, life is at home. You can just see the kind of shelter that some of our people are actually living in. But we are trying as much as possible to transform that life, to transform and give them at least some nice shelter back at home. And with that, it gives them hope to the future, and then raises the self-esteem, so that as you move to the next level, and then you are good to go with them. However, we also have the Teen Mothers Program. This is a more recent one, a very crucial thing, where our 10, 11, 12, 13-year-old children already have babies. It's a big problem in this country, and especially within this county. Yeah, where at least most of the children now have babies. It's because of poverty, and of course, poverty stings. Nobody may want to be associated with that. So the moment a child gets pregnant, then yeah, because of maybe due to poor livelihood, then of course they are abandoned. But we picked up the initiative to make our people shine, given our people with albinism a mandate. Now, as they take care, of course, we have them at the center. We've given them shelter at the center, giving them skill, giving them, of course, education, providing their basic needs in totality, plus their small children, so that at least they can now have future for them. And then, of course, we're now coming up with, yes, a daycare center in regard to this, because the children, the babies are left at the center with our people with albinism as they now go to school. Now, the bigger babies may say so, go to school, but the small babies now remain at the center, who are now being taken care of by our people with albinism. That is actually something that is giving us a lot of visibility, because apparently we are only center within this county that is actually offering shelter support to the teen mothers within this county of Bungoma currently. So we also do food kits and basic support specifically to
Oh, sorry, I think we lost you. Let's see what we can do. Chrisantus, you're coming back.
And of course, we give them an opportunity to scale and support the elderly, whom we actually look after. Then advocacy, we move right from, yes, the community, and then up to the media. Or like now you can see the middle pictures. There's a presenter that is a national TV station, yes, presenting. And then, of course, our issues about our people with albinism. And then the climate change. Under climate change, there are two components that we're actually focusing on. The riverbanks are trying to reforest because all our riverbanks, as you can see in that picture, they are barely empty, and you see that river is full. It's a big river. The River Ntoya is a big one. River Kujwa is a big one, but fairly empty. All trees have been cut. So we are actually trying to reforest that stretch, and it is a 6,000-kilometer stretch. We want to have a mark in this world that we did something that nobody at the moment is struggling with. And at the same time, working with the schools, using our model, One Learner, Three Trees initiative. And with this, we are now emphasizing on actually using our children to take care of the trees, or that when in school, and then plant some in their homes. But at school, we are now giving them the fruit trees, the avocados, a tree that will benefit them, a tree that eventually after 3, 4, 5 years will start bearing fruits. And those fruits will now be used by some children who actually lack food in their homes, who actually don't get anything for their lunch or get anything from their villages, so that as they go to school, actually they have something. So the same trees actually is a nutritional component that we are also trying to fight at school in cases of maybe malnutrition, and trying to give food support to the very needy, now that schools are not offering food in their schools. And then, of course, in relation to water, we also support the very needy households that actually where most of our people with albinism are trying to shelter and have it in a good shape, cover the shallow wells and the springs. So that's just some of the pictures, but when you come on the ground, when we are supported, of course, we intend to do more and more and more. And so next, Manuela. Yes. So that is just a nutshell of actually what we are doing. Yeah. Good.
Yeah. And it's very nicely also put how here you see the centers, how they are connected. And it is not one in the middle, but there are many who are giving also input and also sharing. And they also work independent from making more house with each other, which is a very good thing because this system change network is somehow also an independent network. So with the idea that similar networks might also follow out of this core SEN network. And I know, Chrisantus, you're already working also with some other local NGOs where you are also sharing and where you are also try to replicate this holistic approach. Yeah, well, thank you so much for this presentation. I just stop a moment the slides, but I have some questions to you, definitely. Let's say you put it as your vision from victims to heroes. And yesterday we had our International Albinism Day. I'm not sure if everyone who's now looking at this session knows so much about albinism in Kenya. Can you summarize very shortly what is the issue with people with albinism in Kenya?
Yeah, sure. Thank you once more, Manuela. Yeah, our people with albinism actually face a lot. It's a global issue. But in Kenya, the situation becomes more worse because of illiteracy, ignorance, poor myths and misconceptions pertaining on people with albinism. So yesterday, we actually teamed up with other people globally. And of course, us as the key stakeholders, key partners in this journey, who actually tell people, showcase to people what actually we have done to them. But as it is now, we don't talk much. It speaks on its own. There are them now, people with albinism, who are actually just talking. I can only talk for 2 minutes, but the rest of the time they'll say, no, keep quiet. It is us now to say, because we know what you've done to us. You've taken our children to school. You've built for us houses. You've constructed shallow wells for us. You are supporting us with the food. You are doing clothing for us. You've given us skill to empower, and now we are empowering people. Now it's our time to tell them. It is our time to empower them. So that's how the system has really changed as it is now. And of course, now the radio stations, the TV stations were there and they covered everything. And we were in news, of course, the entire evening. It was, yes, GAASPP on global TVs, GAASPP. So that is the beauty, and that's what we are doing. But we are doing this courtesy of, yes, MMH and other partners. But of course, with the cross-financing from other, stakeholders like Ashoka and the rest.
Yeah. So what is very unique about it, as you also have given a lot of examples, is you are not just helping people with albinism who suffer from poverty, who suffer from crimes, who have been very marginalized in the society just because they look different, and due to that also they had a very low education. So it's not that you just bring them up, let's say, to a somehow acceptable level with all the activities, but your vision is really to make them shine. You also use these words, you make them shine. And as you have said, for example, from people who were very shy, very closed in their own houses, very scared just to go out. And now you see people who are in front of micros, who talk to the national, international TV channels, and journalists who present, who do trainings outside, who take care of the babies of the teenage mothers, who care for the elderly. And I think this is a very very interesting and very unique thing. And I hope that many other NGOs will also take that up, because the issue of albinism in Southeast Africa, at least, is a very high one. It's a genetic genetic condition only. It's not really a disease. It's just that they have a white, very sophisticated skin, let's say, and also some eye issues. And I'm always very happy when I come to the center and I meet the people and I see the progress. So thank you for that. You do it now with a passion that is incredible. And can you tell us, where do you take this passion from? What drives you to do what you do? I mean, day by day, and I know it is a lot of work also to balance on one side the activities in the center, work with the communities, on the other side working with a system changer network, trying to spread it with the media, then the guest house, which is another big part that cross-finance, also a part of the activity that you are doing. So where do you take this energy and this passion from to do what you do?
Yeah, thank you, Manuela. In simple terms, it is from the bottom of my heart. It is the passion to serve humanity. Service to humanity is the key thing in my heart. And that is the driving force behind that. And that's why, yes, the vulnerables, I want them at least supported. Yes, I want to have to see them actually also coming up as champions. I also want them to shine. And it basically revolves from the background. I happen to come from a background that is not actually stable. And the only thing I felt, and at least my heart to do, is actually to serve humanity. So the driving force is just service to humanity. The passion for humanity is the core thing here, because these other things can come later, and it is out of this that actually pushes me. Yes, I want to see this one here on
So we have a short interruption as well. Maybe I switch off my camera a moment, then it might be better. I hope then you come back. Yeah, let's see. Yeah,
yes.
You're back, Chrisantus. Thank you for this answer. If you look back, I mean, we started to work together and to set up this GAASSPP from 2020 onwards, I would say. It's not a long time, but anyhow, it's now already 4 years. What are your biggest learnings in that time?
Yeah, of course, one of the key learnings that I actually learned is that trust is key.
Chrisantus, I think it's maybe good if you also switch off your camera. It seems that our internet connection goes down a bit. Let me see.
It may happen, of course, but with a lot of difficulties. So you have to be resilient
Chris,
now.
can you repeat, because we could not get it? There was some interruption in our connections. So the main learnings, if you can repeat a bit what you told us. Sorry.
Okay, thank you. So I think I just said that the key learnings from what actually I've learned is from all this work that we're actually doing is, one is trust. You must have trust for you to win the community trust. Trust yourself first. Trust in whatever you do. Have trust in yourself, and then the community will also trust you. So trust is key. Then resilience, so that at least, yes, whatever you undertake may not actually unfold so easily. So you have to be resilient. You have to actually be optimistic. You have to persevere. And yes, give it time. But of course, with the time, it will happen. And then the third thing is the collaboration, networking is key for any success. Because for the success that we've had, where we have the halls, training halls now in place, the beadwork skill development aspects, the animal husbandry, all those. You see the microcredit happening in the community, the guest house that is already in place, the supermarket. You see that trees, the cultural exchange, the climate change aspect. All those requires resilience, and for you must actually have trust for you actually to win somebody's trust. Trust in yourself.
Thank you. It is a very holistic, systemic approach that you are taking. And can you explain in one word or one sentence why you think systemic change, systemic approaches are so important? And what is the difference with what maybe is happening in many other places?
Actually, me as a system changer, I'm a change engineer. And I believe in an ecosystem approach. So in one sentence, a system changer is somebody actually who looks at the things in a more holistic way and then trying to engineer change. Unlike other people, other places who are actually working on their own initiatives, that is not all that holistic. It actually leaves out major needs of the community not being solved and attended to. So what I can say is a system changer is a network of organizations, of course, from different backgrounds, committed to a holistic approach.
So
yes.
would you say if the basic needs are not tackled in parallel, then it is very difficult for communities, underserved communities, definitely to be empowered in a way that they also in a sustainable way can then empower themselves?
Sure.
Yeah, thank you. Very interesting. And I also know that you try to hand over the ownership to the communities, to peer-to-peer trainers very early. What is the reason behind?
Yeah, I'm doing that so that the peer-to-peer training sessions, I'm doing that for the whole setup to have self-sustainability and to scale up the move, other than just maintaining and retaining the situation with some people at the same point. So when we do peer-to-peer trainings, we scale up and then we enhance sustainability of the project. And that is actually what I normally look at. Of course, looking at the system changer network, so that at least we also get cross-breeding ideas and innovations and skills from other networks, so that at least we scale the move and create a bigger impact.
You mentioned also that we have a lot of partners, or you are working with a lot of partners from many different backgrounds, from the social entrepreneurs who are coming and do trainings with companies, with other NGOs, with universities, with the local government, of course, the national government, the media. What would you ask a potential partner? Because of course, we are looking for more partners. There are many challenges still, and we would need other partners who would be interested to collaborate with you to even tackle more of these basic needs, and also in a wider range, because I know you are also now active in Mombasa already, so you have a huge spread out all over Kenya with what you are doing. So what would you ask those partners, let's say other companies, what should they do, or what should they, or how should they maybe think about the activity there?
Sure. Yeah, sure. In fact, we're working with additional partners, the government, the university, social entrepreneurs, and the companies. But I would request for more collaboration, more partnership, so that at least I can now achieve the dream.
And we have here another interruption, so we wait a second. Let me check. Yeah, what would you company or what kind of advice
Okay.
give companies who would like to partner?
Yeah, I would like to partner with social entrepreneurs, companies, organizations, and even personal people who are actually, who have the heart to support, so that at least we can scale up the initiative. I'm looking at this thing to have self-sustainability based on the projects that were actually started in a few years ago, so that in 3 years down the line, through the cross-financing aspect, so that maybe we can now have self-sustainability, so that maybe we can have a pool of heroes who are able to sustain themselves and train other people, scaling up the initiative. I'm looking forward to have planted 10,000 fruit trees in schools within 3 years to come, in the next three years to come, so that at least I can curb nutrition, climate change, and then shed in some schools, because some schools do not have even trees, and then they are easily blown away by the wind. And however, looking at least to cover at least 150 kilometers from the 6,000 kilometers stretch as a starting point to showcase within that range. Of course, we are already on doing, but we've merely covered just about 5 kilometers. So we still have a long way to go, just because of the funding that maybe we don't have the funding. People can come and partner with us, so that at least we scale up the climate change aspect along the rivers. And then I'm also looking forward to support more than 300 children, young mothers, in 3 years, because the number in Bungoma alone in the past 2 years is 26,000, just gone like that. They are rotting in the villages. So maybe I'm looking at 300 in 3 years, so that at least they can transform their life. And then to have a socially inclusive community where people with albinism can be respected and given have dignity. And more so, also to have a plastic recycling plant at the center. As we've realized, there are too many plastics in the environment, and even in the rivers. We have collected quite a good number, but we lack the machine to actually process the plastics, so that at least people can use. And of course, installing solar to reduce the cost of electricity in the guest house, and then of course, yeah, have it registered. Looking forward to have this center registered by the government as a training institution, fully training institution, within 3 years, so that we can also get a win-win-win situation from partners, from the government, the community, and even the GAASSPP itself.
Well, these are good things that you're looking for. So if there's anyone listening to it and wants to collaborate, wants to help underserved communities in Kenya, be it with the tree planting along the riverside, the plastic recycling, the solar solutions, or also working together with GAASSPP to support the teenage mothers and the children, please feel free. Definitely